Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Colonial Downs here on the feature day of their meeting. It is Tuesday, the 31st of August, 2021. Going to look at the Virginia Derby and all the other stakes races on the program from Colonial. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean around the world. Let's look at the stakes action, races 6 through 10. The sixth race, it is the Old Nelson Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000. Race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses heading to the inner turf course. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile and 1/16 on the Colonial inner turf course. 1,700 meters, a mile 1/16. And I show the diagram. Just gives me a second to look down my notes. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm stupid. I can't do two things at the same time. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Tuned. We'll go 2-1-5-8 in the superfecta. 2-1-5-8 super. Top selection, 2 horse, Tuned. This 5-year-old mare by Tornado. Grand Motion trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 20th of July here at Colonial, mile 16th on the inner and optional 40, winning by 1 1/4 lengths. This horse had a bit of a dream trip that way. He kind of plotted all the way around the racetrack, a little bit wide, but I think that was to his advantage because when he quickened up, he got the job done in hand. Coming here, 6 quality horses, not the world's best quality horses, but it's a quality of horses that I think he can win against, and I think he's really sitting on a good run. 2 back here in the grade 3 Mint Julep at Churchill, mile 16th to 12th of June. First off a 2-month refreshing. He finished 6th by 9 lengths. It was very lackadaisical that day, a little bit wide, and just couldn't keep up with those lot better horses. And then prior to that, in an allowance race for 62,000 at Keeneland, mile 16th on the 7th of April. He finished second by 2 3/4 lengths. He didn't break all that well, sat back early, but had a really good turn of foot behind Pocket Square. Pocket Square just ran that better race, but this horse ran decently there in that very tough allowance race. And then prior to that at Gulfstream, mile 3/16 in the DeVary one, he finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths there, and just wasn't getting the trip. He has only won twice this side of the pond. Once last time out, and then once you have to go to her North America debut on the 10th of October 2019 at Keeneland, going a mile in the allowance race, winning by 2 1/4 lengths there. She really ran a terrific race, but ever since then she's just been a little bit of a hard luck horse. But coming here at 5-1, I think she could really get the another victory on this side. Also, it helps a lot with the Jose coming to ride the horse. So to recount my selection for the 6 from Colonial, it is the Old Nelson. Let's take the 2 horse, Tune. 2-1-5-8, my superfecta. The 7th race, it is the Kitten's Joy Stakes. Purse $100,000. Race for 2-year-olds here. We have a field of 6 horses, again going to the inner turf course. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or mile 16th on the Colonial turf course. 1,700 meters, mile 16th. And the Kitten's Joy, named after the 2004 Virginia Derby winner, who went on to, I can't remember if I'm pretty sure he won the Turf Classic here in New York at Belmont, and then he ran the Breeders' Cup Turf at Lone Star, and Better Talk Now basically shut him off in the stretch, and everybody, that was one of your worst calls, and I thought in British Cup histories where they didn't take down Better Talk Now. If you don't believe me, go watch the replay of that stretch run of that 2004 British Cup Turf. It was just Better Talk Now, great horse, should have been taken down that day, and Kitten's Joy should have been put up, but that's for another day. Top selection here in the Kitten's Joy, I'm going to go with the 4 horse, Tis the Bomb. 4-6-2-5 in my superfecta. 4-6-2-5 super. Top selection of 4 horse, Tis the Bomb. This 2-year-old colt by Hit a Bomb. Kenneth McPeak trains. Robbie Alvarado comes in for the mount. This horse's most recent outing came 2nd of July at Ellis. 1 mile off turf in the main special weight, 51,000, and winning by 14 1/4 lengths. He just showed speed that day. Broke like a quarter horse out of the gate. Plodded along, quickened up nicely. Nobody was catching him there in his second race. Coming here to turf, where he has a very good turf pedigree, shouldn't be a problem. He showed some speed. I think he could really run a good race, but he's going to have to break. His debut, he didn't break at Churchill, but I think he had a lot of 2-year-old antics there, going 5 furlongs, 14th of May in the main special weight for 99,000. He finished 7th by 5 1/4 lengths. He didn't break that well. It was a little bit wide. He moved a little bit late, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Like I said, I think he had a little bit of a 2-year-old antics. He's been training very well, very well at Keeneland since his most recent race. Most recent workout, 48-1 over a half mile there. The 6th best workout, 33. Coming to turf, I really like him a lot. At 3-1, I'm actually going to single him in the multis. So to recount my selection for the 7 from Colonial, it is the Kitten's Joy. Let's take the 4 horse, Tis the Bomb. We'll go 4-6-2-5 in your superfecta. The 8th race now, it is the Exacta Systems Rosies Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. Race for 2-year-olds here. We have a field of 7 horses going to the outer turf course. The distance of ground of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Colonial outer turf course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs. My top selection here, we're going to go with the number 1 horse, Big Boss Ben. We'll go 1-7-4-5 in your superfecta. 1-7-4-5 super. Top selection 1 horse, Big Boss Ben. Trio Colt by Spicer. John Ortiz trains. Raylu Gutierrez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 6th of August at Ellis. 5.5 furlongs in the main special weight for 51,000. Winning by 3 3/4 lengths. He basically plodded along the racetrack. When he quickened up, he got the job done. That was a very, very good main victory. Took him a little bit of time to break the maiden, but he did it in fashion there. 2 back, he ran in the main special weight 48,000 at Ellis, 5.5 furlongs July the 9th, and he finished second by 1/4 lengths. He was with them early on. He just couldn't keep up late in his turf debut. Maybe the ground was just a little bit too soft for him. It was the softer side of good, firm, but he should have ran a little bit better there. And then the 19th of June, his debut at Churchill, 5 furlongs and maiden 100,000. He finished third by 4.5 lengths. He showed speed early on after not the best beginnings, and after he had the recovery after the not best beginnings. He just didn't have a lot left in the tank late, but training well at the Churchill Downs Training Center, has a lot of speed into him. From the inside, at 3-1, we'll use him. Don't throw out the 7 horse here, who is Tejano Twist. He took him another horse, took him a few times to break the main, but he did very nicely earlier this month here at Colonial. Come turf here from a starting position at 5-2. I think he really is on the up and up, so we'll use him there on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Colonial, it is the Rosies Stakes. Let's take the 1 horse, Big Boss Ben. Give kudos to the 7 horse, Tejano Twist. 1-7-4-5 super. 1-7 in your multi race. The 9th race now from Colonial, it is the Virginia Oaks. It's going for a purse of $150,000. Race for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 12 horses heading to the outer turf course. The distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.125 on the Colonial outer turf course. 1,800 meters, 1.125. My top selection, we're going to go to the outside gate to the number 11 horse, Invisible Gal. We'll go 11-3-1-7 in the superfecta. 11-3-1-7 super. Top selection, 11 horse, Invisible Gal. 3-year-old filled by Invisible Spirit. Grand Motion trains. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in an allowance race for 100,000 at Saratoga, mile on the 31st of July. She finished 5th by 3 lengths there. And, it was her first start with Lasix that afternoon. And she, kind of stalked all the way around the race course. And it was an all-out finish. Just couldn't get there late. With a better trip, maybe a little bit better finish. I don't think she was going to win, but she needed a better trip. Coming here from an outside poster, I'd like to see her sit a little closer. If she could sit closer, I think it's going to be to her benefit. 2 backs were in the 10 at Churchill, 1 mile, 26th of June, and she finished 7th by 3 1/4 lengths there. She was stupidly wide and didn't have the best of trips from the inside. It wasn't her day to win. And then prior to that, the Soaring Softly at Belmont, 7 furlongs, 15th of May. First off the long refreshing, she finished 2nd by a neck. Again, stupidly wide, but she did gain a lot of ground late. There's nothing bad about the race over that short trip. And then our final race of 2020 came in the Tempin of Aqueduct. She ran 2 Tempin Stakes the last 12 months. One at Churchill, one at Aqueduct on the 29th of November, mile 16th on the inner. The horse finished 2nd by a length. It was stupidly wide again, but she really, her final quarters aren't bad at all. She's only won once. That was her debut at Saratoga, going 5.5 furlongs last August. After that, she ran a very good place in Sorority at Monmouth, and then placed before that in the Sleema at Pimlico, and then ran a horrible race in the Brews Cup race at Keelan, where she didn't break that well. But coming here 5-1, I would like to see her closer. I think she can win against these horses. So to recount my selection for the 9th from Colonial, it's the Virginia Oaks. Let's take the 11 horse, Invisible Gal. We'll go 11-3-1-7 in your superfecta. The feature 10th race now, the meat feature from Colonial. It is the Virginia Derby. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $250,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 12 horses, again going to the outer turf course. The distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1.125 on the Colonial outer turf course. 1,800 meters, 1.125. And years ago, this race used to be run at a mile and a quarter. They shortened the trip to a mile and eighth now. I wish they would run more mile and a quarter races here at Colonial. There's two of them this week, I think, but for my liking, maybe a little bit more. But my top selection, I like the number 6 horse here, Wooden Acid. 6, 7, 11, 5 in the superfecta. 6, 7, 11, 5 super. Top selection 6 horse, Wooden Acid. This 3-year-old colt by Wooden Bassett. Grand Motion trains one. Jose Ortiz again gets the mount. Horse's most recent outing came 24th July at Pimlico, a mile and a half in the Bald Eagle Derby. And the horse just didn't. It was very lackadaisical there. Finished third by 2 1/4 lengths. He was with them all the way around and never quickened up. With hopefully a little bit quicker pace in this one, I think it really could run him a good race. He's been the subject of really slow paces in his most recent races, which really is costing him. 2 back in the Kent at Delaware, mile and eighth on the soft ground, 3rd July. Soft pace, first off the bench. He finished third by 2 lengths, and he never really got that good turn of foot. When you go 51 and 4 or 1 to a half, they're really crawling there. And then prior to that, 29th of November at Del Mar Mile in the Cecil B. DeMille Mile, he finished 11 by 6 1/4 lengths. You need to have a good trip on that Del Mar turf course, and he didn't. He was drawn 11-11 that day, was stupidly wide, and just had nothing from that wide post draw. And then before then, the wad at Belmont on Halloween last year, mile 16th there. He finished 4th by 5 1/4 lengths. Again, a little bit wide, but was gaining ground late. And then the North America debut at Pimlico, a mile and the 16th in Laurel Futurity. He finished 2nd by a nose. He didn't break that well. Stupidly wide, rough trip all throughout, but really was gaining ground late. He's won twice. That was his first 2 races in France, one at Léon d'Angiers and one at Léon Paris. 2 very subpar tracks in not subpar, but 2 lower tracks in France. But his races after that at Longchamp and Deauville and on the main circuit in France, those races weren't bad at all. Since coming to America, like I said, he's been a subject to a horrible trips, but I think he should get a good trip here today at 5-1, hopefully with a quicker pace. I think he can really run a good race. The 7 horse experience, he doesn't have a lot of experience, but he really has run 2 very good races. I think the trip should suit him well. His running style should suit well in this race. At 7-2, we'll use him on the multi-race. And the 11 horse Draft Capital at 15-1, coming in from Arlington. He's a winner of his last 4, and he's always run these good races. With the step up in class of 15-1, we'll use him on the ticket because he is on the up and up. To recap my selection now for the 10th from Colonial, it is the Grade 3 Virginia Derby. Let's take the 6 horse Wooden Asset, give kudos to the 7 horse Experience, and the 11 horse Draft Capital. 6, 7, 11, 5 Super, 6, 7, 11 in your multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.